to do an introduction of the VC and members of the high table. We have our own Vice Chancellor, who is today ably represented by the Provost College of Postgraduate Studies, Professor T. K.S. Avan. Also on the high table is the Registrar of the University, also represented by Director, Senate Unit, Dr. M.J. Amakri. We have the Chairman, University Lectures Committee, Professor Patrick Wenyipogi. We also have the Dean, Faculty of Medical Laboratory Science, represented by Professor Eze. Also on the high table is the University Orator, who also doubles as the DVC Admin Designate, Professor Blessing Jaja. I will have the Inaugural Lecturer, Professor Gloria Woking. Let me recognize our former Vice Chancellors. We have in our midst Emeritus Professor S.C. Achinewu, former Vice Chancellor. We also have Professor Barinemi B. Fakai, former Vice Chancellor. Also in our midst is Professor Boma Uwari, former Deputy Vice Chancellor. We also have Professor Franklin Lerum, DSSRS, former Provost, River State College of Health Science and Management Technology. We have our own former Dean of Science, former Chairman, University Lectures Committee, Professor Ekwozo. You're welcome, sir. And just by him is the friend of the university, Honorable Dr. Christian Ayako, former member of River State House of Assembly. And let me also recognize the spiritual father who is here, the Bishop Samuel Richards of the Souls Ablaze Ministry. You're welcome, sir. Vice Chancellor, sir, we have a long list, but I will just take a few of them. We have Dr. V.C. Woking, okay, the husband of the inaugural lecturer. Please, can you rise for recognition? We also have Sir Pedro Chinda, the Registrar of Uniports. You're welcome. We have Mr. and Mrs. John Wachuku. You're welcome. John West International. Welcome, welcome. We also have members of the Assemblies of God Church, Choba Women Ministry. You're welcome. Thank you, our women. We have Professor Austin Abba, the PPSN Uniports. We also have Professor Florence Ndoka, also from Uniport. You're welcome, Prof. Let me also acknowledge the presence of Mr. Victor Chinda, Professor Ngozi Roots Irona, also of the University of Port Harcourt. Let me also recognize Reverend Barrister Mrs. Faraday, Reverend Barrister and Mrs. Faraday Rachuku. You're welcome. And let me also recognize Pastor Raphael Ongwani, representative of the Assemblies of God Church Ministry. You're welcome, sir. And let me recognize Castle Report Alumni Association. You're welcome, members of the Alumni Association of Castle. And the Vice Chancellor, sir, let me recognize our deans. I've earlier mentioned their names, distinguished professors, directors, heads of departments, invited guests once again. I'd like to welcome you all to this 122nd Inaugural Lecture. It's now my pleasure to hand over the microphone to the Registrar of the University, who will invite the Vice Chancellor for his opening remarks.
The Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by the Provost of the College of the PG College, Professor T.S.K. Abam, and all members of the High Table, and our dear professors, former Vice Chancellors, emeritus professors, our invited guests, and leaders in the Lord's vineyard. You are all recognized. May I humbly invite the Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor, sir. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Former Vice Chancellors here seated, former Deputy Vice Chancellor, former Honorable Member of the House, the River State House of Representatives of Assembly, Honorable Dr. Christian Ahiakwo, Deans of Faculties, Directors of Institutes and Centers, professors here, 10-15 minutes, I received a call to come and represent the Vice Chancellor. So today I have the very rare privilege to be Vice Chancellor for 1 hour. So I'd like to, first of all, thank the Vice Chancellor for asking me to represent Wokim, who is a professor, a renowned professor in her own right, and would be given, looking ahead, and very much along her direction. Not long ago, the university, in its own wisdom, established a Center for Water and Sanitation. I suppose you can see the connection there. Professor Wokim will tell us more about that. But for me, it would appear that this subject, I'm sure she would go to town to first of all identify these tropical diseases that are in contention. She would also have to tell us how WASH can maintain their transmission and in their value in terms of care and management of tropical diseases. Not forgetting the value of WASH, clean water, in its sustainability, basically. I don't want to preempt what the learned professor is going to tell us today. So please, all that you expect from a professor of this standing. So I would like to request you to sit back, listen attentively, and enjoy the 122nd inaugural lecture. Thank you very much.